fact is the business of the city is business, and we need to make sure that we're supporting our local small businesses. I think, in fact, I know for the last decade or so, the council's become complacent, in fact lazy, when it comes to economic development because they've been relying on the RDA and a bunch of other redistribution type funds. And our RDA was a nice little cash cow for a while. It's no longer available. We need to make sure that we're supporting small businesses in town to increase revenue through sales tax generation without increasing taxes. I don't think taxing already hard-hit people in this economy is a good idea. I think, again, supporting the 6,500 businesses that we have in town, and that's how many business licenses we have, it's 1 for every 13 people. And that just goes to show you that small businesses are the engine of our economy here. With respect to sales tax generation, 44% of our entire revenue comes from sales tax, but also with employment and creating jobs. I think that's important. I think it's important for Chico to become known as business friendly, and instead of losing stores like Marshall's to Orville, which just happened, losing Super Walmart to Paradise, which just happened, and losing a boon to our economy, which would have been Sportjet out at the airport as a manufacturing business. We lost that to Texas because we wouldn't offer any incentives whatsoever. And that's wrong. We need to make sure that we're doing things like that. Waiving property taxes for a year, waiving environmental impact fees, permit streamlining, those types of things, along with some other financial incentives, I think, to get businesses to not only relocate to Chico, but also to expand within Chico. You know, the market's here, we have a vibrant economy, we need to focus on that. And at the same time, we need to cut some of the waste that's been happening. You know, there's some positions that on 411 Main Street that we need to take a hard look at. You know, some people have been talking about privatizing certain segments of our core services, and I think that's something we should definitely look at the same time as increasing revenue. So that's what I think.
There we go. Well, I think there's several things we can do right off the bat. One of which is what Sacramento recently did, and they took all their vehicles that were driven less than 3,000 miles. Took those vehicles, no longer had to maintenance them, and they sold them, helped build their budget. They did that last year, and it was a cost savings for that city of $2 million. The way that we look at having some of our, making sure that all of our resources are not considered idleness, so that they're used to their full potential. In business, we can never let resources sit idle, but yet in Chico, oftentimes throughout the year, we do let our resources sit idle. From tree trimming trucks on that line, we have a lot of opportunities to either privatize or move a variety of our city services in such a way that we can save some revenue. So that's one of the ideas that I think we should bring to the table and consider to build some of our homes.
One of the, to add what Andrew had to say, I think we have, in the city, we have duplicated services in a lot of areas. I wrote the curbside recycling program 30 years ago here, and we used to have privatized street sweeping. They didn't do a very good job, and then the city took over. And so I think one of those, there's lots of tree trimming businesses. I think there's a lot of duplicated service. We could privatize quite a bit of, I don't say quite a bit, but there are, at least look into it, to be able to do some of those services. And then on the business aspect, on income basis, I think that some of the fees, I know that there's a few doctors that would like to have built some new buildings and things like that. And in fact, one of them, it was $50,000 in fees, and not even be able to put a shovel in the ground yet, or a use permit. I think looking at with those fees and regulations and things that are happening in that area, by reducing some of those, it helps some of these people get started and hire more people. We have 6,500 businesses in town that have businesses licenses. If we could help 20% of those hire one person, or even a part-time person, that will help break some jobs in to be able to stimulate more sales and things like that.
I think that the City Council has done a fairly good job of keeping a financially solvent city. In 2007, the City Council looked at our 10-year projection for our financials and found out that we were in trouble. Previous councils had over projected the revenues, and the expenses were quite high. So we took a hard look at that and made some adjustments, some serious adjustments, so that when the economic downturn hit us, we were in a better position than most communities to ride this financial storm. It is true, we need to build our reserves back up, but we are doing a number of things. We've already looked at the fleet optimization program in the city of Chico and saved a lot of money. We are working on innovation and entrepreneurship. Look at the Synthesis, for an example, as a business that is innovative and entrepreneur. We need to concentrate on base level employers, manufacturers of both intellectual property and as goods that can be sold out of our community and have that money come back in, give us great jobs. We need to concentrate on the quality of life that we have here in Chico. So we're continuing working our plan. We need to get better, but and the way we can do that is through priority-based budgeting, having community-wide discussions on how we can, what our priorities are as a community, and we do that together.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to answer them in reverse, solving our fiscal solvency issues and the revenue generation ideas. First of all, I'd like to see us stop the bleeding. We're going to have a problem with the salaries and pensions and the benefits. A two-tiered system is something we should definitely be talking about. It hasn't come up yet. I think it will. Secondly, we need to be making data-driven decisions. Part of the challenge with the fiscal solvency issue is nobody really knows where the city's been. And when the current council has asked for those numbers, the current city finance staff has said, well, it'd be really hard for us to come up with that stuff and you wouldn't understand it anyway, which is almost an exact quote. So it's difficult for the council of the city to even know where we are financially if we can't get monthly income statements that are required by the city charter. And then as Toby pointed out, government doesn't create jobs. Small businesses do that, big businesses do that. The Chamber of Commerce survey 6 months ago, they asked local businesses, entrepreneurs, what gets in the way of you expanding, of you starting businesses? And they said the permitting and regulation process in Chico is burdensome. We never know what to expect every time we go down there. Cities that are open for business have one point of contact to help entrepreneurs and business owners get the things done they need to get done. It's clear, it's transparent, and they know what to do. Our best chance for solving our solvency issues is to expand the size of the pie. Okay? Year to year, it's a zero-sum game, but if we can expand the size of the pie, we can offer the services we still have, we can take care of the contracts we have, we can become a more vibrant community if we'll let those business owners do what they need to do, let government get out of the way.
So in terms of a cost-saving measure, one of the things that the city has done is they have cross-trained employees in the planning department, and they have consolidated positions so that people are cross-trained, they know different positions, and you're not reliant on working with one person and then being passed to another person. I think that's something we can look at doing more of. I think we also need to focus on tourism and the world-class recreational opportunities that we have here. We have Bidwell Park. We have Sierra Nevada, which is a great example of a sustainable business, which many businesses outside of the area have come to study the way they've done things. There's thousands of microbrewers out there who are drawn to our community because of the resources we have. And so I think we need to focus on the small and medium-sized businesses that we currently have and increase our TOT funding.
The last budget that the city put out shows that we'll be positive for the next 3 years, and we'll be a negative $15 million at the end of 10 years, or 2020. So that gives us some time to look forward and react to the potential downfall in the future. I agree with Ann Schwab that we need the budget priority budget model for our budgeting system, so we can get together as a group of citizens and look at that and see what is our priority, whether we want to emphasize police, let's say this year, over something else, and make our decisions based on real numbers that also, the numbers will also project out and tell us what the cost and benefits of those decisions will be, something we don't really have right now. So we do have some time, and the best way to grow out of this problem is through growing our business. And I would say we support local business first. And then I'm happy that there's 3 other people here today that are promoting tourism. And I think that we can get more people into Chico, get their impact, their dollar impact, and not their long-term impact on utilities, facilities, and streets and roads, and promote Chico. And the transportation occupancy tax has been talked about. That's only area that's been increasing in the last number of years. So as we gain more money in that area, I would give some of that back to tourism and support Oktoberfest and the arts more so we can promote downtown, get more activities, cultural activities, musical activities, and then slowly feed some of that profit that we have back into the reserves. So our best way forward is to grow our way out of this with the proper support of local business and through tourism.
Well, I think it's an income and a cost issue. One, we'd like the city to generate more income, and that can be done through deferment of developer fees, which I think Dave started to talk a little bit about. And that helps stimulate businesses and building permit applications, which will hopefully help expand the economy and bring in more revenue. There's also shoring up the existing tax revenue that we receive now by stopping the leakage on the utility users tax, which is something that the City Council is attempting to do now, so that everybody's operating at a level playing field. Businesses are paying different rates for different utilities, different tax rates, and in some cases none at all, and I just think that it's an unfair advantage for a lot of businesses, or for a lot of business operations. But I'd like to expand things like the transient occupancy tax that will help tourism and expand tourism so that businesses are bringing in more revenue because we're an attractive tourist site.
Excuse me. I believe that we could possibly contract out some of the development issues in the planning department and those types of positions, because the development fund is in such debt right now. If we unfortunately have to do layoff employees, we can contract out for those services. Also, I believe that transit occupancy tax is one of those that really could be tapped. Again, we have a great tourism base here. Sunset Magazine regularly writes up Chico as a great place to come and visit, and we can expand on that because of Sierra Nevada, Bidwell Park, bike races. You know, these types of things bring tourist dollars to Chico. They're clean dollars. They come and they leave, and they're not, you know, a total burdensome on the economy here.